observing, everything starts with learning to observe. Because very few people, there's sometimes when the mind comes, they act out the mind somehow. Like it comes and they don't, nothing stays back to reflect or to observe anything. So introducing this observing exercise, that you simply observe, but you don't intrude, you don't interfere with that first. So as you begin, you start to see that something wants to get inside and wants to get involved. So that is also observed. Then you stay only as observing. So then even the tendency to want to identify and to struggle, that is also observed. That is the first point. And as you stay put and feel each time something wants to go and to identify and judge, but you just recognize, but that is also observed. And at first it feels like you have athlete's foot and you can't scratch it. Something wants to, and they say, no, just learn to relax. And sometimes you have to go, you can't listen. You go, it's okay, don't worry. And still just observe that also, no? Like that, because, so gradually something learns to be with that and to feel where the identity, and you start to see how much the mind has been participating in your existence, how much it is acting in your name. You see like this at first, but as you're watching this, the power to observe becomes stronger and stronger. Now, what is the purpose of observing? Purpose of observing is not that you're going to spend the rest of your life observing, because that's going to be tiring. What happens after a certain point is you come to see that all that you observe is impermanent. That is a fundamental thing. That all of it, it's random also. That the mind is not making sense. Sometimes you're just quiet, sitting there and just being in emptiness or something. And then pink shoes comes up, and then the attention, pink shoes. And then muesli. And then some face of some friend that you haven't seen for 20 years. So what's that got to do with anything? And then you see how much attention wants to go, and then try to remember that friend's sister and how you had a relationship, and then see how then you're observing just how fickle and superficial this thought activity is. But you're being reminded again, stay only as the observer, don't get entangled, and you're cultivating a sense of detachment is there. And after a while it becomes easier and easier. And after a while, somehow, when it gets recognized in the heart that everything is momentary and there's nothing really lasting there, something begins to feel like the heart opens. It feels like that. Because the real heart never closes. But there's a sensation that something opens and relaxes. After this, you are noticing that actions, reactions, interactions are simply happening. Yes? But now you're not feeding. Your observing is not active. It becomes more passive, more neutral. So things are allowed just to sprout. Even the mind is coming. But you stop being the traffic policeman in your own head. You just let it happen. So rather than trying to stop a thought from happening, which just makes it more strong, you see? If you try to stop something, if I say to you, okay, just for 15 seconds, don't think of pink rabbits. Why did you say that? Because you can't stop thinking of pink rabbits, is it? So if you put anything like a resistance, don't think, then you start to think. So then, no, I say, let thoughts come, but simply stay as the weakness of them. Don't identify. Then this becomes easier for you. Then you realize that thoughts by themselves are not your enemy. You see? Then you become aware of just a space of being. That which is resonating inside the body as the sense I am, the sense of presence. You become more aware of this. When you become aware of this, naturally there's a feeling of space and peace. And like nothing is like a big deal. Nothing is a big deal. You see? Then the mind says, oh, look, you're becoming lazy. Then you must feel that thought and look at it, lazy. Discard it. You see? Because if you buy it, then you're going to have to take care of you trying not to be lazy. So you stop purchasing these thoughts. It's such a powerful thing, you see. So this tree of observing, you see, it bears immediate fruits. Immediately you start to feel a space of being. And in a short time, anybody who follow it, they start to write letters like some of these you write. Not, some of them is just pure trouble. Oh, my mind, and I don't know what to do, and the world, and no, not this place. You have to get out of that. Because that feels real, but when you check back, it is not real. It's created in the mind somehow also. Leave the world alone. Just focus on who sees the world. What is seeing this. You see? And gradually you may come, at first some of these questions that don't make sense to you because you're not accustomed to them. You are not accustomed to questioning ourselves. You question other people, but yourself you don't question. So when you get used to the beauty of looking and putting attention on your inmost being, and only that, and somehow with that self-focusing, illuminations come inside very smoothly. A lightness of being is being made manifest, you see. And even from this day, you go home from here, what have you done? Not anything at all. But somehow your consciousness is reorientating itself somehow. And more space is opening up. You have to feel somehow the mysticality of being. There's a kind of vibration. It's not mental. Maybe you feel, I don't know what I feel. I don't know what I feel anymore. I said, boy, this is very promising. I don't know anything anymore. But something wants to say, look, you see, you're losing your brain. Huh? I said, no, you're not losing your brain, you're losing your mind. Okay? It is okay. And something, all education say, no, this is not good. This is not good. You should be worried. But when you pay attention to the feeling, something feels, but this is okay. Something feels very good. Very healthy, very calm. So somehow inside a subtle choice is made to go with the mind that's going naughty, naughty, naughty. Look, you should be guilty. Why are you doing? You're letting the side down. You should fight, work and strive. And something is going. See? So for a while some movement is there. Should I go with this mind? Because that's what you've gone with for so long. You know the voice. It gets you into a busy state, agitated state, but it leaves you with the feeling that you're doing something with your life. The other one, you're not doing anything for life. You are alive. So, wow, but where's my responsibility? Well, you are alive. Then something begins to sink into itself. It's something very beautiful. Then the peace which is really yours begin to become self-evident. So when you meet people, you don't feel intimidated anymore. You don't want to control anyone. You don't want to impress anyone. You don't need to be what you may call embraced. You don't need to be accepted. It's not a need. If people reject, somehow something feels a bit of the pain, but that's okay. It doesn't take away this. How much wider your life is. And then at some point you may find something just says, take me. Yes. Yes. Then you are not anymore explainable. You see, many people might think they know you, but when they speak you realize that they don't know. How can they know me? How can you come to the end of me? What is here? The you that you know is only your projection, you see. But you don't feel bitter about it. You understand that that is the nature of the mind also. You're not predictable, but also not unreliable. But you're not looking for anything, you see. Nobody can say how your being will express itself. But you will not want to go back to your mind. You will not be able to fit into your mind. It will be too small. It will be too small. In truth, this body is here as somehow a garment for the being. But the beingness has no size. It is sizeless. It has no beginning, has no end. One should not be afraid of one's own self.